Hey everybody, welcome back. I figured I'd do a little bit of a bench update here and show you what I'm working on, what progress I'm making, and what problems I'm having. I'm going to start with the newest project here, the Camaro Pro Mod. I got the front clip cut off, as you can see. And I put a little piece of styrene in here because there's nothing to support the cowl right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet, whether it's just going to have the windshield or if I'm going to have something to support it. Because the way it was made, the cowl scoop goes back in, against the windshield. So when you cut that away, you're left with nothing there. And I have to unpin this and pull it apart. This is what I do this all the time on most of the things I build, and I pin the body to either the floor pan or the frame rails, so I can always get it back in the same position. So I'll pull this apart. It's a lot of trial and error to get the pins in the right spot too, but I got it. So as you can see, I got the roll cage made. I think I'm pretty much done with it. I don't think I'm going to put any more bars in. I think that's pretty much it, except for what'll go from the front when I put this together. This gets tricky too, because you can't paint anything until you get it put together, and you don't want to put it together until you paint it. So it's a kind of a catch-22 thing. But I need to make bars from here into the firewall, and in a perfect world they'd connect to the roll cage, but we don't live in a perfect world, so they're going to probably end up just getting glued to the firewall. I'm not 100% sure yet. It depends where things fall into position as I go along, because I gotta mount struts out here. I've got to mount an engine. I got a whole lot of more fabricating to do here. And this is a weird kit that it doesn't have rear frame rails. It has just this part of the frame, and then the rear just has the coilovers that go into the holes up here, and there's a series of 4-link and wheelie bar setup that attaches to it, but there's no real frame rails. So I guess in the kit like this, these ribs are considered frame rails. So I may make something to make it have an actual frame rail in the back here. I'm not sure yet. I haven't done that in the past. I've used this type of floor pan and frame for a lot of things, and usually I just go with the way the kit was designed. So that's maybe what I'll do. Nobody sees it when it's on the shelf. I mean, unless you turn it upside down, nobody's going to see it. But then this Olds has really been trying my patience. I got it back I do a lot of test fitting, and it's back into another test fit because I had problems with the front end. When I got the motor in, it looked like it was like the front end was, one side was longer than the other one, and everything I measured, it measured out right. So I'm not sure where the snafu was, but I did end up taking this. I trimmed a little bit off of it to slide it back a little bit, which had to remount my magnets. But it's all pretty good now. This part of it anyway. I just made these locators for the front clip, so it should come off. I don't think I have anything glued together. Yeah, comes off. Then when it locates, you got your fork type mounts in the front and your magnets. I missed my forks though here. It's a little tricky to get on, but it always goes back in the same place because you got the magnets. And I got the battery and the fuel pump in there. I got the lines run, wires run, battery cables, fuel lines. My fuel line was a little too short, so I made a little splice block there. You can see the battery cable is connected to the starter. The fuel line is connected to the regulator there. trying to think of what part of this. Oh, I know what's trying my patience now. When I mock up the struts, they're not the same from side to side. Looks like the one doesn't fit. It wants to lean. Has to lean way in, like or was it way out? I don't know. It seems like I may have to lengthen one of these lower control arms. I'm not sure. That's why I kind of stopped working on this for a little while. I just set it to the side after all the trouble it's been giving me. But what I'm going to try to do here, I wanted to get the engine location to have the scoop. I want to get the scoop that it'll sit on the carburetors, and then have the hood actually slide over it, or this way. I want to have an aluminum or simulated aluminum tray that mounts to the bottom of the scoop with the holes in it for the carburetors, and then the hood will actually slide over top of that. Like, it'll have, I have to cut a little bit more out, but it basically it'll be kind of like that, where the hood slides in, so I have to cut more of the front away. But the scoop theoretically will stay attached to the carburetors. The hood will slide against it, or over it, and when it's all together, it should look like everything belongs together. And I think I have the same problem with this one that I had on the other one, and that is that the door only opened that far, which actually might be further than the other one. But I do have a big gap here. I'd like to close that up, but that's going to affect how far the door opens. Like this side, yeah, see, this side has a tighter gap, but the door only opens that much. So I have thinking to do there, whether I want to sacrifice the gap for have the doors open, or I think I'll sacrifice how far the doors open, because it's going to sit on the shelf, everything closed up, and I'd rather have it look better, when it's closed up by having a tighter gap. So that's where I'm at, and thanks for watching. I'll be back with another update maybe next week.